Hey YouTubers, welcome to another Data Bits production. It's gonna be awesome. Okay, I don't know who that guy was, but I won't talk like that. Hey, welcome guys, how's it going? Welcome to a video about tape decks, and I'm gonna start by going over my current rack system and what I've got in it, and it's really been fun building this rack system as I go. And you know, I don't have a lot of money to throw at this kind of project, so I visit my Goodwills and my Salvation Armies and my Craigslists and my eBays, and that's pretty much where I found all this stuff. Starting at the top, I've got my TAC A1250. It's a fantastic 70s model reel-to-reel deck, and it is a tank. It's an amazing unit. Sitting right there next to it is a CD I'm going to use for a demonstration today. And next to that is a digital compact cassette, which has tape inside of it that I hear or read is more like VCR tape than cassette deck tape. And of course it was, you know, used for digital recording. And what I did is I took some tape out of one of these and I put it in a regular shell. So we're going to use that for our demonstration today. But for regular home recording, you can't go wrong with the Maxell XL2 series cassettes. They're great cassettes, and I highly recommend them. Get a hold of you some, especially if you're getting into cassettes and want to experiment a bit. You'll get really good results with that. Surprisingly good results. Next to that, down here, we have my Sansui. It's a P-L50. It is a linear tracking turntable. Fantastic turntable, which I got at Goodwill. Put a couple belts in it, and it was ready to go. And I just love this turntable. I mean, most of the records that I play on it, you can't tell you're playing a record. It just sounds great. Next down to it is the centerpiece of today's video, and this is the Pioneer CT-W604RS. It is a Dolby S noise reduction unit. It is the main reason I bought it. It was kind of dirty, but I've got it cleaned up and ready to go, and I'm going to demonstrate it for you today. Right underneath that, just to round out the equipment here, we have an Optimus 10-band stereographic equalizer with this funky spectrum display in the middle, which is a really an enjoyable part of watching your music, if you can watch music. This is my Pioneer. It is a VSX 5900S, which I got off of Craigslist. Fantastic deck with our receiver with a ton of stereo inputs on it, which I've relabeled here for easy access. Down here I have an XM448 mini disc recorder, and this deck is a little quirky. Sometimes it doesn't want to read discs when I put them in, but you know, it's the nature of the beast, and I'm really not into mini disc that much, so I live with it. Next to it is the DCC. It is a DCT 2000 made by Optimus. Fun project. Made a big video about that. Be sure and check that out, because I had a lot of fun restoring this unit back to health, and it sounds absolutely stunning. Just better than CD, in my opinion. Better sound quality. It's like CD with warmth. Next to it, of course, is a CD recorder. It is the TAC RWD200 CD recorder, which I got at a Salvation Army store for 15 bucks. And great unit, and been having a lot of fun with that, and made a video as well. So check that out. All right. So I recently acquired this cassette deck here, again, the CT-W604RS, and it is replacing my Pioneer CTS707, which is a 3-head deck. I just sold this on eBay and did pretty well with it. And what's the amazing thing about a 3-head deck is the fact that you can make recordings and monitor the recording as it's being recorded with this little button right here. So you can hear your recording while it's being recorded, and you can adjust the bias of the cassette. So basically, a cassette deck will choose via a bunch of little switches at the top what tape formulation you're using, but you can tweak that. You can ramp up the amps, so to speak, on a tape, or lower them and give a tape more punch or less punch via the bias control, which is why these units are very prized. However, I ran across this W604 and noticed that it has Dolby S noise reduction on it. Let me zoom in a little bit here. There it is. So it has B, C, and S. And S would be the latest incarnation of noise reduction technology that came from Pioneer, or not from Pioneer, from Dolby, implemented by Pioneer. And on top of that, it's got a couple other really cool technologies. It has the BLE XD, which stands for Bias Level Equalization. XD meaning Extended Dynamic Range. And this one has Super Auto BLE XD. It is a dual auto reverse deck. Some of these decks have dual recording on them. You can record on both decks. And there must be 400 incarnations of this particular style tape deck. But and I've had several of the incarnations, but I've never had Dolby S before, so I wanted to check it out. Now, I made a recording already, and I scrapped it. And I made what I wanted to do was do a head-to-head competition between a machine that sets the level of bias automatically versus one like this one that sets the level manually. In my findings, in my tests, I like the sound quality of this guy over the other one. And the reason is because it had more punch to it. It had a much brighter, much more noticeable sound quality. But unfortunately, that particular test was not audible through my iPhone, which is what I'm using to record this with. So I had to scrap that video because I listened to the video myself and I said, well, I really can't tell the difference between the two decks recorded through this iPhone. But through the speakers, which I have these amazing Sony speakers here, which were just a surprise. I found these at a garage sale. And big tower speakers, tons of bass, really good sound quality. And if you want to know the model number, let me know. I'll look it up. Oh, and by the way, there is my, my JVC 8-track deck, which is sitting modestly up there at the top. I did make a video about that as well. But since you can't hear the difference between the sound quality on these, it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to try and show you what the difference is between an auto bias setting machine versus a machine that you can do it yourself. So again, here is this DCC tape that's been put inside of a regular cassette housing. And here's how this works. You put in your funky bias tape in there, and what the unit is going to do via this button here, you press the button, the unit is going to fast forward the cassette and then record a little tone on the tape. Okay, you can see it on the display there on the left. Then it rewinds the tape a little bit. Then it listens to that tape to see what kind of result it got. Then it records another tone on the tape, rewinds that back, plays it and analyzes it, and then sets your bias accordingly. I think that's pretty cool. So knowing that, that means that like any kind of tape that you have, let's say you have an old audio cassette, an old Michael Jackson cassette. Let's say you've got like Thriller on cassette and you want to re-record the cassette via, maybe you have a CD copy of it. You want to re-record it and make it sound better. This machine is going to be able to recognize the tape formulation used from the manufacturer and get you a nice bright recording as a result. So might be kind of fun. So let's just do a little test here. No music. I'm going to use some sound effects from that Digital Domain CD we saw earlier. Track 16 on this particular CD has the sound of a helicopter on it. So first, let's go ahead and record a little bit of leader on the cassette. And you'll watch until the black appears, or the brown of the tape appears there. And there it is. And then we'll pause it. All right. And you'll see here on the display, it's recorded and waiting for, or it's on record and waiting for us. I'm going to put this on CDR, and then I'm going to hit play. Whoa! I think I'm going to rewind it first. Okay. All right. I got attacked by a helicopter there. That was pretty scary. All right, so now we're recording. All right, so we made a recording of a helicopter. Let's go ahead and rewind that back. And again, I'm using C noise reduction. And even though S is supposed to be cool and backward compatible with Dolby B and all that kind of cool stuff, in my tests, C gives me better sound quality. A much punchier, much CD-ish sounding, if you want to use that comparison, sounding tape versus a versus the Dolby S. I just wasn't really crazy about S. I don't think there's anything really exciting about that. But anyway, here is our recording made on this DCC cassette. Well, there you go, guys. That's it. This is a Pioneer machine that promises to give you the best sound quality you can get from your cassettes. So I recommend you get a hold of one and give it a try. I did also find a CT-W604RS from a Goodwill store, and unfortunately that deck didn't work. So be sure and test it out and make sure that the unit has power and all the functions are working. Might need to replace a built-in one, don't know, but this one didn't have that need for it. Thank you for watching, guys, and hope you enjoy more of my videos. Subscribe, tell your friends, you know, tell your mom, tell your dad, your grandpa, anybody else who enjoys funky audio and video formats. Have them check out my channel. And thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Bye-bye.